When winter has taken spring's final flower, when its life becomes ugly and cold, when death comes upon me like an eviction notice, leaving my soul without a home, I'll be sure to haunt your kitchen cabinets.
This story begins in Peabody, Massachusetts at an unusual store called Cat's Creepy Creations that sells extremely creepy dolls and bone art. Then ends at the Harvard Medical School morgue with the sale of black market human body parts. Hello, my name is Holly, and this is the Murder She Shed, the place. We honor the dead right from my little she shed. Just hit that subscribe button for rarely discussed true crime and also breaking true crime cases, such as this one today. Please join us. I'd love to have you, usually 2 times weekly, right from my little she shed. And you'll get to meet my little G.S. Simon. Katrina McLean, 44, of Salem, Massachusetts, is the owner of Cat's Creepy Creations at 58 Mills Complex in Peabody and describes her designs as art that will shock the mind and shake the soul. There's no doubt about it shaking souls, because I am sure those that have passed away and so to Katrina or Cat, their souls are shaken. The shop's Instagram account says it specializes in creepy dolls, oddities, and bone art, with posts including a real human skull and a case of 11 human vertebrae. The caption of one of the posts says, "If you're in the market for human bones, hit me up." When her store was invaded by FBI agents in March of 2023, neighbors knew something sinister was happening. And police would only comment, "The only thing I can tell you is that there is no indication of ongoing threats to the public." Hopefully that helped ease the neighbors' souls, but I'm not sure about their curiosity. Cat was known for her creepy doll creations, and if you are like me, that is one thing that you would never allow to enter your home. Nope, just nope. I wouldn't be able to sleep knowing that could be creeping around in my house, but perhaps I watched Chucky too much as a child. I'm just hoping these dolls did not come complete with human body parts on or in them. She transformed dolls into killer clowns, which I hate to, devils, zombies, ghosts, and more. Various dolls were made to appear bloody and have open wounds or cracked skin. The FBI not only searched Cat's store, but also her home in Salem. The officers left with bags, boxes, and storage totes, including ones marked biohazard. In 2021, Kat was interviewed for a podcast called Yeah, Dat Podcast, where she talked about growing up on the North Shore and starting a business dealing in oddities and macrame. Here is a clip of her discussing how she began her business selling creepy dolls and human body parts.
Yeah, I was saying it's fun and I enjoy it now, but I never liked dolls. I hated them growing up. I had a fear of them. They terrified me. So I pretty much paint them how I see them in my head. And that's what you get, man. In the oddities market, I started to have access to all this other shit that I didn't know I could get access to, like bones and stuff. So I was like, ooh, I want to get with that. So I kind of branched out and started making skull plaques and, just creepy cool stuff. I'll take anything that's kind of gnarly and turn it into something else, The
FBI would soon learn after the raid where Kat had bought all of her body parts, and the mission would shock them. Cedric Lodge, 55, who was the Harvard Medical School morgue manager, was stealing human remains from the elite university to sell on the black market. Cedric stole dissected portions of donated cadavers, including heads, brains, skin, bones, and other human remains, without the knowledge or permission of the school, and removed these remains from the morgue in Massachusetts and transported them to his residence in New Hampshire. He took them home. What the crap? If someone broke into his house, I bet that they would leave immediately because it would probably freak them out. I mean, I would assume I was in a serial killer's house if I walked into that. Human remains are voluntarily donated to Harvard's medical school for educational purposes. When the medical school is finished with the remains, they are typically cremated and are either returned to the donor's family or buried in a cemetery nearby. It's sad that you or your family donate your body to help with the advancement in science or teach medical students, and you end up as a weird art collection. It makes me double think about marking that I want to be a body donor on my driver's license. I don't know if every state does that, but Oklahoma does. We just mark if we want to donate our body to science. But, y'all, I just don't want to be somebody's art collection. I mean, I think some people might be okay with that, but I don't want to end up on Cletus's fireplace mantle. Some people, I'm sure, would like to be art project. I mean, they're dead. They're like, I don't need that part anymore, but to me, no, I just don't want to be observed after I'm dead like that. I want to have skin on and look normal, at least alive, when people are staring at me. That just creeps me out. I don't know why, but teach their own, right? I mean, these families donated their loved ones to Harvard in hopes that it could be used to help someone. After Cedric would steal them from Harvard and bring them home, he and his wife, Denise Lodge, would box the parts up to sell and ship. Cedric was fired by Harvard Medical School on May 6. University officials called Cedric's behavior an abhorrent betrayal. 3 other people besides Kat and the Lodges were charged in the investigation. 52-year-old Matthew Lampe of East Bethel, Minnesota. 41-year-old Jeremy Pauley of Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, and 46-year-old Joshua Taylor of West Lawn, Pennsylvania. On May 19, 2019, Joshua Taylor allegedly sent Cedric's wife, Denise, $10,000 with a memo reading head number 7. Then on November 20, 2020, Taylor allegedly sent her $200 with the memo reading brains. Not just brain, but brains. Like, that's so disrespectful. I mean, it just seems more disrespectful to spell it like that. I don't know. Just taken so lightly these people's body parts, it almost seems like to me. A 7th person, Candace Chapman Scott of Little Rock, Arkansas, was indicted earlier. She's accused of stealing and selling body parts from a Little Rock mortuary and crematorium to Jeremy Pauley, who was arrested in 2022. Scott was supposed to have cremated the bodies, but instead she chose to sell them. Kat from Creepy Creations allegedly bought a skull, 2 desiccated faces, and portions of human skin from Cedric. The 2 faces she bought for $600. Kat also allegedly hired Pennsylvania man Jeremy Pauley to tan stolen skin into leather and paid him an additional skin parts as a payment. Why is this giving me Ed Gein vibes? Just weird. Kat texts Polly after mailing the human hides because she wanted to make sure it got to you, and I don't expect agents at my door. Basically admitting what she was doing is illegal. Kat was among those allowed to enter the morgue and choose what remains she wanted to purchase. She picked through them and chose whose mother, whose father, whose brother's remains that she wanted to pick out. Or even babies. Even stillborn babies were sold to people. Oh, that would make me so angry if that was my baby. Jeremy Pauley has already been in trouble with the law, like I said. Pauley was accused of buying body parts stolen from a mortuary in Arkansas in 2022. Pauley spent $4,000 on items, including half a human head, 3 human brains with skull caps, a human heart, a liver, a lung, and 4 human hands. Pauley owns a museum called the Memento Mori. Pauley describes himself as a human blood artist, and on his Facebook page, Pauley has posted pictures of bags and piles of femurs, vertebrae, clavicles, ribs, and human teeth for sale. Police found 3 5-gallon buckets containing assorted body parts in the basement, including 2 brains, human skin, fat, a heart, kidneys, livers, lungs, trachea, and a child's mandible with teeth that he had bought off of Facebook. He's also created several gory artworks depicting infamous serial killers, including Jeffrey Dahmer and Ted Bundy, which were displayed in the Museum of Death in New Orleans. Believe it or not, selling human body parts and bones is legal in 47 states, excluding Louisiana, Georgia, and Tennessee. The problem in this alleged criminal conspiracy is that the remains sold were stolen and not the seller or buyer's property to sell or resell. The question is, did all the individuals that had bought human remains know that Cedric was stealing them from Harvard? I mean, can they prove that in court, whether they knew or not knew? If they didn't know, is it still illegal? I mean, they could have thought that he had gotten them legally. I don't know how you go about proving. But obviously, Kat knew that agents could be after her, so that might prove her guilty anyway. I'm not sure. We have to let it go to court and see. A class action lawsuit has now been filed against Harvard University and Cedric. John Bozak, the Tewksbury man filing the lawsuit, had his own mother, Adele Mazzoni's body donated to Harvard when she died in 2019. The family of Nicholas and Joan Pachowitz donated their remains to the school too. The family was told their father was a victim of this trafficking ring. Nichols' wife's remains were donated following her death in March, and the family are wanting her body back. I see a lot of lawsuits in the future for Harvard and Cedric Lodge. My heart goes out to the family of the victims, and I'm so sorry if I pronounced your name wrong or the victims' names wrong. I apologize. And I'm sorry you're having to go through this. It would be awful. I can't even imagine. My heart breaks for you. Well, guys, I hope you are having a wonderful week. Just wanted to tell you about this case in case you hadn't seen it yet. You might have. Well, I will see you in a few days right back here in the Murder She Shed. And if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe. We'd love to see you again. And I'm going to have Simon tell y'all bye, as usual. Simon says bye, and then he loves y'all very much. And he is glad y'all support our channel so y'all can see Simon. He likes to see y'all. He thinks I just talk to myself inside this room. Like, what? Is she nutty on the fruitcake? What's she always talking to herself for? But he accepts me, nuts and all, so that's what I love about dogs. They don't care how crazy you are, bless their hearts. Well, me for one, I love art, but I wouldn't want to be a piece of artwork on Cletus's fireplace mantle. This story begins in Peabody, Massachusetts. I always have trouble saying that. Sorry, Massachusetts. An unusual store called Kat's, not Kate's. Did I say Kate? I don't know why I can't get this mic to work like I want it to work. A seventh person. Welcome to the She Shed, where we're going to discuss the already dead. I'm sorry, I'm an artist. I love to paint. I love to do art, but I don't want you to have any of my body parts to incorporate art into. As you can see, I do a lot of painting, but I don't want to be incorporate any body parts into this art situation. No. Not having that one. Under the ground and just dissolve back into this beautiful green earth. Some of y'all know that I lost my home to a tornado. Blew away. And then I just live in my shop, and we still have our she shed, and we have our shop, and that's it. We finally got the floor plans done to my new house, and it ended up bigger than our old house. And I was like, we don't even have kids at home anymore. Why is this new house bigger? Because my husband had to have a man cave for one. So we added a second floor. We wanted this giant cathedral back porch. And it's going to be glass, and you can see all the way back. And it's going to have a steep living room and kitchen. It's all going to be connected like before, but it's going to be really steep. And go back in the back porch where it's a cathedral. So in order to do it like we wanted, we had to add length. So, yeah, now we're ending up with a lot bigger house that we probably don't need. But anyway, what I was going to say is me and my husband, it took us forever fighting over these floor plans. I mean, why is building a house so stressful? I didn't ever want to do this again, but I'm glad we had insurance that we're able to do this again, so I feel blessed on that. We had the insurance, so that's the only way we would have been able to do this. Y'all want to see my wildflowers before I let you go? Maybe it'll brighten y'all's day.
Ugly and cold. When death comes upon me like an eviction notice, leaving my soul without a home, I'll be sure to haunt your kitchen cabinets with a touch of that graveyard